This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and today we're going to look at an Android tablet. It's been a while, right? I mean, Android tablets used to be the hottest thing on the market. Not so much anymore, but still, there's definitely a place for products like these. This is the Acer Iconia Tab 10. 10.1-inch display, full HD, and it really is a lovely display. That's the big selling point of this tablet. Affordable price tag, $249 for that full HD display. Middling specs otherwise. We have a MediaTek quad-core CPU inside, 2 gigs of RAM. 32 gigs of storage is pretty nice. We're going to look at it now. So this is the Acer Iconia Tab 10, the latest Android tablet from Acer. Granted, the parade of Android tablets we saw from a few years ago has slowed down, and not many makers are refreshing their tablets all that often anymore. This is certainly a nice effort from Acer to go for the budget to mid-range tablet price point yet again. So we're not looking at something that's going to compete directly with the Samsung Galaxy Tab S series, for example, with their super high resolution AMOLED displays, but it's not a bad tablet for the price if you're in the market for a 10.1-inch tablet. It's 0.035 inches thick, so about a third of an inch thick, and it actually has a metal back. It's cold to the touch and all that sort of thing. As you can see, it shows some fingerprints and smudges, but overall, Acer is not usually at the forefront of really sexy designs. Once in a while, they hit a good one, like with their Acer S7 Ultrabook, but this isn't by any means a bad-looking tablet. We have rear speakers here with grills on the back. Yeah, it would be nice if they aimed forwards, but they're incredibly loud. It has Dolby audio, and my God, this is like the loudest tablet I've ever heard. 5-megapixel camera on the back. And over here we can see the ports. We've got our micro HDMI port right here. We have micro USB, 3.5 millimeter combo audio. That's the power button right there. And we have a micro SD card slot, which they say is compatible with cards up to 128 gigs. No super duper high capacity card compatibility there. The selling point really is the display, and Acer is pretty darn proud of it. They should be. Got a 1920 by 1200 IPS display that's quite bright. Great color saturation, great contrast, good off-angle viewing because, well, it's IPS. You can see there's some shifting going on, but not a whole lot at all. It's lovely to look at, honestly, and that's one of the most important features of a tablet for most people. You want clarity when you're reading, when you're looking at web pages. You want photos to look lovely, and if you're using it for streaming video, well, obviously you want that to look good too. Up front we have a 2-megapixel camera. This one is a 720p webcam as well for your chats on Skype, Google Talk, whatever it is. Here is one disappointment. It runs Android 4.4 KitKat. Yeah, no lollipop. We reached out to Acer and asked them about their plans for lollipopping this. Haven't heard back yet. In our written review, we will tell you what we find out there. Acer typically does not change the UI much on Android, and I think that that's a good thing. There's no heavy, weird skinning going on here. Got the nice little launcher on the bottom, obviously. On-screen buttons there to control things. We have a lot of bundled software here. We have, in fact, a whole bunch of Acer stuff. We got their file manager, their music player, their photo and video players, their cloud storage. I don't think anybody's going to mind having that. And in addition, we've got Amazon stuff. We got the Audible player right there. You saw the Amazon widget. We have Amazon Kindle. We have all sorts of Amazon apps here. We got eBay on here as well. Wild Tangent Games. This is starting to remind me of a PC with so much bundled software, huh? One thing that is pretty cool is the float gadget, and you can choose between a couple of different floating gadgets. We got the calendar right there. We have another one for the maps and location. We have a calculator, and we have a quick notepad. And that's a pretty handy thing to have. And you can just leave that floating while you're doing other stuff. You see, if I go home, change to any old application, go into Google Play, it's going to stay there on top and available for us. The tablet has 2 gigs of RAM and it has 32 gigs of storage. For $249, it's nice to have 32 gigs. Often you see just 16 gigs on the base level tablet. For Dolby Audio, we got a little Dolby control panel right here. You can see, generally speaking, I like movie as an EQ, unless really I am listening to music. It does a pretty good job right there. Lots of settings you can work with. So how does it sound? Well, we're going to try out Real Racing 3 so you can hear it then, and we'll do some video playback in YouTube also. It's really loud, and it's reasonably full too, so it's not just a lot of hissy mess or something like that. It's pretty good. Got the Chrome web browser in here, of course, fully sanctioned Google tablet, so you got all the Google apps inside. So what else is inside? We have single band 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. That's a little bit of a bummer. I would have liked to have seen dual band. Bluetooth is on board as well. No NFC. You don't usually see NFC in tablets. The 1.2-pound tablet obviously has a battery that's sealed inside like most tablets, right? As you can see right here, there is no way you're going to open this guy up easily and get inside. And that is a 5910 milliamp 2-cell lithium-ion battery. Now, Acer says up to 8 hours use time on a charge. In our test with brightness set to 50%, which is pretty darn bright on this, we actually averaged 6.5 to 7 hours, depending on what we were doing. Streaming video was closer to the 6.5, but just general productivity, surfing the web kind of thing, we got 7 hours out of it. So for a 10-inch tablet, that's not bad. It's not amazing either. The ports on this are pretty cool in one respect because, well, we have HDMI that actually supports HDCP outputs, so you can play protected content, and the USB port supports USB on the go. What does that mean? That means with a USB host dongle adapter that you can pick up even at Best Buy these days, you can use things like USB flash drives with this. Peripherals too, as long as there's a driver for it. 3G, 4G, LTE dongles, not so much. Keyboards, yeah. The Acer is not going to win any benchmark contests. It has a 1.5 gigahertz MediaTek MT8127 CPU inside. That's a quad-core CPU, and it's 32-bit. MediaTek's catching up. They're putting out some good CPUs, but this one is one of the just okay ones. It has Mali 450 graphics as well. So how does it do? Well, synthetic benchmarks, let's see what it says. And there's our score right down there, 23,414. You get an idea from the graph that that is not going to be the fastest guy on the block. However, it is adequate. This thing never seems to lag. It runs through the UI very quickly, launches applications quickly enough, so the internal storage is pretty darn fast. Quadrant, you can see our score right here, 8859. Now, it looks pretty good because it's pitted against a lot of devices that are quite a bit older right there in the graph. Typically, we see 22,000 for the fastest devices on the market right now, but those do cost more than $249. So, to be fair, that's not terrible. 3D Mark Ice Storm Unlimited, 5,052. We see 17,000 or so for the fastest devices out there. SunSpider, the JavaScript test where lower numbers are better, 1623 using Chrome. Fastest devices, 400 or 500 milliseconds. The slower devices, well, they score around like this. But like I said, all is not lost. It's capable enough. It can handle streaming full HD video just fine. So let's see how it does with video playback, and so you can hear the speaker. We'll go to YouTube. And we'll look at our video of the LG G4. Well, we're only about a half volume right now, less than half volume, so we'll bring it up so you can hear it a little better.
This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and this is our first look at the LG G4. We're going to look at the T-Mobile version. We'll be looking at the international version as well in our full review. So yes, there'll be an even longer video of the new
a little lip sync issue. Let's give it a pause and start it up again, see how it does.
G4, but we like what we see so far, including the new leather back here. Still the same 5.5-inch IPS display.
So that sounds not bad at all. You know, our video feed is not hyper loud like you'll find with some movies and other commercial content that's available on the web. Let's look at Real Racing 3 next to see how it games, and you can hear what the speaker's like there. All right, here we are inside Real Racing 3, which is a pretty demanding racing game, obviously 3D. And you'll notice that we do get things like reflections in our rear view mirrors, so despite the just okay CPU, well, it's going to do pretty well. It's keeping up pretty well. Sorry for the reflection of the light there. Now, you don't get the apex of detail there on the cars, but it's fairly smooth all in all. Well, let's cheat and go on the inside. So there's Real Racing 3 on the Acer Iconia Tab. So all in all, again, if you're looking for a fairly reasonably priced tablet that's a name brand and not one of those mysterious imports, China Mart or whatever that you see at the stores, and goodness only knows how you get support and how long they'll last, Acer is a brand you can trust. It's solidly enough built. It's 1.2 pounds. It's not too heavy. Beautiful display on this. That's the biggest selling point on it. And, you know, reasonably good performance, actually, given the internals that it has. So that's the Acer Iconia Tab 10. It's available now. Again, $249 for the full HD version. There's also going to be a 1280 by 800 version that's going to be even less money. There's a lot of competition out there in Android land. Most of it is Samsung. And I have to say that this competes well against the Tab 4, mostly given the high resolution display. In terms of performance, you know, a little of this, a little of that. Pretty similar in terms of that. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.